Hot topic.
I'm Stephen Timms, the Member of Parliament for East Ham, and my hot topic is the cuts the government is making to the budget for legal aid. Legal aid is the system which gives financial help so that people who can't afford a solicitor can nevertheless get legal advice when they need it. But legal aid also pays for very important advice services, like the service that's being provided here at the Tamil Welfare Association for Newham. It's a service that's been available in this area for 25 years, a very good service, provides very good value, particularly targeted at people from the Tamil community, that's people from Sri Lanka and South India, but also helping other people as well. Funding for this service also comes from the legal aid budget, and because the government is making such big cuts in that budget, funding for this service is also at risk. That's the concern that I want to draw attention to today, and I've come to the TWAN office in Manor Park to speak to Mr. Jana, who runs this service, to find out what the impact on their service is likely to be. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Nice to see you.
Good.
Mr. Jana, you've been running this service for 25 years now. What kinds of advice are you providing?
Legal advice on the immigration and asylum, welfare benefits, housing, family matters, debt and money advice. That's kind of all type of advice.
If you look at the immigration and asylum cases that you deal with, how many people in a year would you expect to be helping?
We are in the immigration and asylum together around 300 cases we are dealing with, and among the 300 cases, around 65 or 60 cases we are taking up to the appeal level or courts. Most of these immigration related and asylum works are funded by the Legal Service Commission, and very few cases, those who are not qualifying under the Legal Service Commission criteria, we will continue under the funding of the London Council or other trust funding.
So how will you be affected by the proposed cuts to the legal aid budget?
At present, this year we asked to reduce the meta-start number of cases we can take up. That's mean in the past there's no limit, but this year, 2011, we asked by the Legal Service Commission only we can do 180 new immigration cases.
So let me just pick that up. So for the next year you can only start 180 cases.
This year we asked to open only 108 cases.
108
cases.
Right.
Next year we are not sure about how many cases. It may be continue 108 cases. It could be reduced, or we are not sure about.
So 108 cases this year. How many cases was it last year?
Last year, as I said, generally 300 cases we deal with it.
So you've had to reduce the number of cases you take on by 2/3.
That's correct. Or alternatively, we have to find any other funders if there is other funding available.
And what is the prospect of getting other funding from other sources at the moment?
That's also very restricted, very hard to get the funding for this type of case, especially on the immigration and asylum matter. Not many funders prepare to fund. That means we have to reduce the number of people going to be affected. We are unable to take up the matter, most particularly on the people in the detention centers and the torture victim. If it is their asylum case going to be affected, then torture victims and refugees are mainly going to be affected. In the other side, the immigration, if it is affected in the immigration side, many people, we are going to say we cannot be able to deal with the matter.
You also provide other kinds of advice, for example, about welfare benefits. How is that work funded at the moment?
At present, welfare benefits or other areas of work funded by the London Council funding. That one also last December, London Council decided to cut that funding, but there was a successful legal challenge. Result of that, London Council changed their mind, and that funding is secured until 2012 October.
So all in all, you do face a pretty difficult couple of years ahead.
Next year we are facing very difficult year, and we have to replan according to our funding how many clients, how many cases we can deal with it.
You do provide, I think, a very good value service here in Manor Park. People who can't get help from you, where will they go in the future?
It is very difficult because there's not any service. All the voluntary sector or this kind of service providers are struggling with the caseload and for the funds. So clients haven't got the answer where are they going to, but there's not any options available for them to get another advice or another center is available.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. See you soon. Services like this one are funded by the legal aid budget and by local councils. Both those sources are under huge pressure at the moment, and there's one other complication which I'm particularly worried about. In 2 years' time, the government is going to introduce a completely new benefit system. All the existing benefits and tax credits are going to be replaced by a new universal credit. That's going to cause a lot of confusion, and services like this one aren't going to be available to provide the advice that many, many people are going to need. I think that's a problem that the government needs to address very seriously. If it doesn't, we've got some very big problems ahead.
Hot Topic.